this out. This is J. Edgar Hoover, head of the FBI for decades. He is seen here wearing the fez. On his fez is a crescent moon and star with a scimitar sword above it. According to CM Bay, the crescent moon and star represents the Moorish woman and child, and the sword above it represents the persecution of the mother and child. The crescent represents the mother or widow in Masonry, as well as the institutions teaching Islam among our people in this hemisphere. The star represents the child, so-called new Moors, those being born into Moorish science. I, self, law, am master. These are the 5 universal symbols of Islam, the 12 signs of the zodiac, the science of the Moorish nation of the Order of Islam, North Gate, North America, founders of civilization. So you want to know the reason these guys wear the fez? More proof to the intentional suppression of our women is displayed on the Shriner's fez, with the sword above the head of the Sphinx, the woman, representing the suppression of her mind, thus her womb, thus all of her children, and the European men and women proudly flaunt it. You see him, right? The crescent and the star, representing the womb and the egg, are inverted, with the mind of the woman being suppressed, displayed as the sword over the woman's head. The fez is worn as a symbol of the womb. The top of it has a nipple shape that symbolizes the navel. The strands of the tassel are 360, as in 360 degrees of knowledge. The tassel is not pinned down, as it is in the secret societies. Theirs has to be pinned down. Properly, the free-flowing tassel is indicative of one who is born of the womb, endowed with and aspiring to and beyond 360 degrees of knowledge. They navigate upon the earth, and their potential is not limited, not pinned down, or kept secret. However, it is sacred. Sacred, not secret. The 4 sets of air holes are equal to the number of womb man, number 9, and to add to 13, the number of times a woman cycles per year, which is in tune with the cycle of the moon. The fez is typically a red felt with an indigo black tassel. The fez is the headdress of the ancient ones, the Moabite Moors, also spelled M-U-U-R. It is geometrically formed to represent the eternal zodiac. The body and the fez symbolize the womb of the cosmos and the womb of woman, mother. The 1-inch finial, which extends out of the center of the fez, is the number 1 and the 9th letter in the phonetic Moorish alphabet, I. This also symbolizes the navel, I, E-Y-E. Can you see it now? The cord extending from I symbolizes the universal umbilical cord of universal life and represents the oneness of all life. It also represents the tie to the source of humanity, Zodiacus, the first woman. So these people who've tricked you to call them white people, which they're not white people, and have also tricked you to call yourself black people, people of color, Indian, Pan-Africans, etc., have suppressed your mind, tricked you out your nationality and your birthrights, and they walk around laughing at you in your face. These people are imposters. We're the originals. Masonry is a system of disciplined learning. Moor is the pedigree and nationality of the direct descendants of the founders of civilization and the ancient high science, culture, Gnosticism, cosmology, alchemy, geometry, algebra, numerology, astrology, architecture, math, philosophies, etc., from which Masonry draws its wealth of knowledge, etc. Thus, Masonry is the high culture, esoteric, and Gnostic system of learning Moorish history, science, and culture, literally and factually. So they know who you are. The question is, do you know yourself? Colors are not identities. Grand finale. You ready? Let's go. Book reference. 96% of all European and American filmmaking regarding a so-called white European rule is a fake. Hold up, run that back. 96% of all European and American filmmaking regarding a so-called white European rule is a fake. What? What the world perceives as an ancient so-called European civilization was in reality Moorish. The exact contrary of what is generally believed is often the truth. Ain't that the truth? Book reference. When the so-called whites came into power, they shifted the colors. But as late as the 1500s, the Moors still depicted their gods and heroes so-called black, and their devils and villains so-called white. This is getting good. They paint Christ, the Blessed Virgin, and other saints in black form, and devils and wicked man, white form. Wow. Thus, Christ and his apostles are painted black, and Judas painted white. Yeah, I'm taking it there. Book reference. Here's a statue of St. Peter. That statue is in the Vatican. Receipts. This is Pope Gregory I, one of the great African popes of the early church. Receipts. This statue is St. Benedict the Moor of Palermo, Italy. Can you see him? This is the real Council of Nicaea to the left. Look at their complexions. And this is the so-called white European version. The real version, the fake version. All of them was Moors. Now watch this. Revelation chapter 1 verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. You listening? And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. Pause. Now that's a clear description. And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. The color brass and the color black are nowhere near the same. Brass is a copper complexion. This is white, this is black. Bing bong. Is it making sense now? Hair white like wool, as white as snow. Then you got this guy. His hair is not white, nor is it woolly. His skin is not burnt like brass. This is a fraud. Now brace yourself. This is one of the reasons Noble Drew Ali said they live off your virtues, and why some describe them as vampires who suck your royal blood and who cannot come out into the light of the sun or the light of truth. European books that represented the highest Moorish achievements were stamped in the rare inside cover. Do not sell in the United States. America does not come from Europeans, as it has been assumed, due to the reconstructed history. America is actually a corruption of the Moorish Latin words, al-Marak, meaning descendants, al, of Moroccans, Maroc. These are some of the names of America. Amexem means mixing, hence why America is considered the great melting pot. Mu, mother's unity, Morak, Maghreb al-Aqsa, most extreme west, al-Marak, Northwest and Southwest Africa, North, Central, and South America. America is the prefix for Amexem, and the suffix of Africa, America. America equals Al-Marak. America equals Al-Moroccan. Al-Moroccan equals Moorish American. Moors are descendants of Moroccans and born in America. Al-Moroccans. So when people say, where's the Moors land at? This is the Al-Moroccan Empire. Asia Major, Northwest Amexem, Southwest Amexem, North America, South America, and Central America. You see all this land? Then you have Asia Minor, Northeast Amexem, Northeast Africa. Ethiopia means something divided. Demarcation line. All of this is Moorish land. Northwest Amexem, Southwest Amexem. Northwest and Southwest Amexem, along with the adjoining islands, land of the Moors, the descendants of the ancient Moabites. In these contemporary times, Amexem is called America. Book reference. What does land mean? In the most general sense, comprehends any ground, soil, or earth whatsoever, as fields, meadows, pastures, woods, moors, waters, marshes, furzes, and heath. Oh, wait a minute. So the definition of land has the word moors in it? Coincidence? No, sir. Technically, land signifies everything which may be holden, and the term is defined as comprehending all things of a permanent and substantial nature, and even of an unsubstantial, provided they be permanent. What does landlord mean? He of whom lands or tenements are holden. He who, being the owner of an estate in land, has released it for a term of years on a rent reserved to another person, called the tenant. These are some of the countries that are part of the Moorish Empire. You've been tricked by the school system to make you think that you were brought over here as slaves, which is a complete fraud. Whole time, you've always been here. The land of a sovereign people is their heritage. Heritage is the tangible substance that is owned and possessed by right, through inheritance and birthright. It is passed down through generations, possessed and titled through your nation's appellation. You are the true Americans. These people are actually the black people, because black means pale, Noah Webster's dictionary, or you can check an etymology dictionary. These people are not Americans. They're the tenants. Now,
Kingdom of Morocco. Say, Drake, I love you. Kingdom of Morocco. My daughter come to me and tell me they celebrating Indigenous People Day. I tell her, baby, you should feel proud. We native to this land. My grandfather stepped in these trenches. My children gon' step in these trenches. Kingdom of Morocco.